It's our 1 year anniversary.
Happy 1 year anniversary, Joe.
It's literally, so we're 46 episodes into the podcast. It's been 1 year of doing it as of May 4th, right?
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are. I can't believe after 1 year, we're sitting in Spotify studios and we have a guest.
Just a normal guest.
To come.
Just your everyday typical guest.
Good children!
Woo!
We're a trio.
Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Good Children, the podcast where hosts Joe Hegyes
And Andrew Muscarella.
reflect on our 22 years of friendship
Growing up in the late 2000s, early 2010s.
and all of the nostalgia
Trauma.
and confidence that has come along the way.
Oh my God.
You guys, we're confident now.
We're confident. We are Demi Lovato.
Lovato, what's wrong with being
confident?
Sometimes it's all about Demi.
Truly.
I do feel like looking back, we understand there might be some new listeners this week.
Yes.
We might get some new people listening to the podcast for the first time. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you for coming.
It's a thrill to be here with you. So I'm, again, Joe Hegyes.
And I'm Andrew Muscarella.
We met when we were 4 years old at a Hard Rock Hotel pool, and everyone loves to question that.
Everyone's
People are
like,
always being like,
how
can you
is that
explain
real?
that?
How is that real? So again, just a little background. We are from the same exact town. We did not know each other before we went to the pool. We were
Both
in the
took a
same
trip to Universal Studios at the
preschool,
same time.
different classes. Was twirling in the pool, saw another little gay boy
And
twirling
we were
in the
like,
pool, and
sister?
we're like, sister.
That's just genuinely history.
Yeah.
We're a product of delusion.
But you know what that delusion has created? Confidence.
Yeah, I do feel like if there's like one thing we've done together, it's be like so pathetically confident,
Yeah.
if you will. Like, for example, to take it back to like the mall, like I never had more confidence in my entire life than walking past those model scouts. Like in that moment, I was like Joe Jonas. Like
Yes.
I was Zac Efron, and
Yes.
I was wearing those knockoff Converse from Target.
We didn't want to attract attention, but what we always wanted was attention.
Yeah, I feel like walking through a day in my life as like a 12-year-old, it was like wake up immediately listening to genuinely like the Camp Rock soundtrack.
Of course, this
Because
is me
This
on
is
repeat.
me. Well, no, what's the first song in that? Who Will I Be? It's up to me. I get to make the future that,
That
I want to
movie
be.
actually created a deep, dark
A
cycle.
monster.
A monster within me.
within us.
Yeah.
And I remember I would turn that on every morning on my iPod Touch. And I was like, this is what I'm going to listen to as I get ready to get dressed up for school. I'd put on a sleeveless sweatshirt, a tank top, and be like, I am the fucking shit.
The shit. And the thing is, too, it's like
We weren't.
It's not that we weren't. It was also like we could resonate with anything.
Oh,
this
you
is
know
me
me.
specifically. I'm like, I've never been the type of girl to hide my face.
No,
you know what I mean?
that
But
is, we lie.
We
We've
lie
been
to
liars.
ourselves.
I'm always like, I was just so shy and like so afraid to show myself off to the world. And like, no, we were on YouTube at 11 begging people to look at us. Begging. My next immediate memory for you of that is, and it's just always this. It's always like child Andrew, again, you're wearing the Italia shirt.
It's with my like
stretched
wireframe
across
glass.
your chest. Yeah, the most like, almost like slutty businesswoman from 2006 glasses is what you're wearing.
Absolutely.
The lips have always been this full. Always
Everyone's
that
been
full.
wondering.
Hand on the hip,
Here they have
Adidas track pant, hip popped.
hip popped and foot at a 45-degree angle.
Always. And you're strut, swish, swish, swish of the sweatpants up to a trampoline.
Because you know that these thighs are chafing, so that you hear that swish, swish, bish all the way through.
And then you're about to get on that fucking trampoline and do a flip. I feel like you were always flipping. You've always been a flipper.
I can't stop flipping and flopping all over the place.
And honestly, flailing.
Flailing for sure.
I feel like the plight of like childhood is repeatedly humiliating yourself over and over and over and over again until you learn a lesson.
Yes.
And the lesson could be I survived, or the lesson could be that almost killed me.
Yep.
And if it's that almost killed me, you're never going to do it again. You're never going to show up to an FYE for a Hunger Games DVD release party dressed as Caesar Flickerman again because you learned a lesson.
Yes.
But if the lesson's I survived, you might go back into the woods and you might do another Long Island Hunger Games.
You might.
And you might bring other people with you.
And you might bring other people with you.
I think it goes without saying, if you saw the title of the episode, if you've listened to this podcast before, you know this is a huge deal for us.
We have been talking about this icon for a while.
I mean, yeah, like
both on the podcast and
in
privately.
our personal lives. Like, to say I have undying respect for this woman is, to say the least, like in a genuine, ridiculous way. Our guest today is going to be the one and only Miss Julia Fox.
Julia Fox.
Julia Fox.
I mean, actor, writer, fashion icon,
fashion designer, model, muse,
like celebrity of the people.
Good Children meets Julia Fox is a really interesting intersection.
Yes.
However, it's the authenticity of this person. It's like the reality. It's the way she presents herself that I think matches what we're even trying to get to.
Yeah.
Like, even if we're not there quite yet, like, I think there's a level of confidence and a level of self-assurance that Julia has that, like, we're sitting down today and we're getting to the bottom of it, and we're going to leave today everyone with a recipe on how to be Julia Fox.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, did you drive here?
I did.
So you drive?
Yeah.
Joe
not all the, like, if it's like a longer trip, like if I'm going to go to Brooklyn, yeah, I'll drive. But
Joe
usually I ride my bike everywhere.
He received that text message and he was like,
I was like, wait,
okay.
like, I need to get a license.
He doesn't have a license.
Like, I was like, it's like, that was a sign to me. I was like, if you're driving here, I literally can't drive around the block.
Well, if you're going to live in Brooklyn and also work in Brooklyn, like, just get a bike. Like, I tell everyone, I'm like, it's the fastest way to get around. It's so much more chill than a train. And also, a bike ride is nice.
I have a fear of bikes.
You don't have anxiety. Like,
my
anxiety.
Yeah, I feel like, do you have
like,
any anxiety at all?
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't manifest in that way. Like, you're able to really work through it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna die on a bike is my feeling.
Like, especially going down a hill, I'm like,
forget about
the road.
There's brakes.
Yeah.
There's fucking brakes.
By the time of this, we're buying bikes.
Obviously in New York it's a little dangerous, but I grew up on my dad's bike. My dad used to bike me to. My dad biked me to school up until middle school.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like, that's how I got to school.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why he didn't just, like, get me a bike. He was really cheap, so that was probably
on the back of his bike.
Yeah, no, not the back. Like, you know, the bar. That,
oh my god.
Just the bar of any bike that has the bar. Yeah, I would just sit on it, and he would just drive me to school.
That's amazing.
My whole life. Yeah, I used to, like, get made fun of for it and stuff.
And now it's like actually like a special little memory.
Yeah, and now I bike my son on the bike.
Oh.
Yeah, and he loves it. But I got him a proper seat because I'm not an
you
animal.
stepped it up.
Yeah. Get out of the bar.
Yeah. But yeah, and just bike is the way to go in New York. That's crazy that you're from Long Island and you never.
Listen, you're gonna learn like one thing about us, like the emotional, mental stunting that happened on Long Island.
Yeah.
Like I always joke, I'm at like what a normal like junior in college is at in my life. Like, I'm just breaking out into the real world. 26.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, truly. I think it like really speaks to your character that we met at that event and then you actually followed up.
Yeah. I was
you
like,
won me over.
It was actually like, it was huge for us. Also, texting you is one of the scariest things I've ever done. Like,
I'm the worst texter.
It was like was like Pretty Little Liars. It was like getting a text from A. I was like, oh my god, Julia reacted. You got it.
She was it. She's coming.
Like, it was like one of those like real manifestation moments.
Yeah.
We really manifested this.
Yeah.
Like,
And
well, that
speaking
whole
of
event
which,
was super witchy because there were
I
like
know.
witches there and tarot card readers.
Are you a witch? Are you witchy?
I'm kind of a witch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw your TikTok about the book, The
Yeah.
Manifestation, which was like crazy to me.
Okay, I was debating whether to share this or not because it's kind of cringe, but I don't know, maybe it can like help somebody. Okay, so I was recently unpacking some boxes and I found this little letter. Please allow for my writing to be known and for my skills to be shown and for an editor to give me a chance. I promise I will not disappoint. Please relieve me from all this rejection. Continue to offer me protection. In return, I offer my blood and I will continue the growth beyond my wildest belief.
And so you said that you wanted to be a writer since you were
my
young.
whole life. That was like what I wanted to be
was
when
like
I grew
you
up.
as a kid was like a writer.
When people would ask like, what do you want to be? I would say a writer.
Who were like your inspirations?
I mean, honestly, at the time, I can't even remember what but I would just I was reading Junkie when I was 11.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I was reading all the the weird, A Million Little Pieces and all those kind of darker reads. And anything I could just get my hands on, really. And then I would write, I would stay up all night, writing short stories and then, make my brother listen to them in the morning.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because we shared a bunk bed. So, I'd just be hey, listen to this. And then I don't know what happened, you kind of just, you get that narrative of, writers don't make any money.
Yeah.
And it's, also coming from a place of, not having parents that have money that can support me in my art. Think about it. Any, rich people's all rich people's kids go off and be artists.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because they just get
exactly.
to.
Imagine if poor people also had that opportunity. There's just so much untapped talent.
Yeah.
I remember when I was little, I told my mom I wanted to be a rock star. This was before the writer moment. I wanted to be a rock star, and my mom was oh, stop, come on, that's not a real career.
Right.
That's a hobby. Music is a hobby. You need a real career. And just completely shot it down.
Yeah, the world kind of tells you you can't do these things.
Well, I can tell you, you are a rock star.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know. I think so too.
No, you
Would
are.
you ever do music?
Definitely.
Oh my God.
Yes.
But it's I just have so much going on right now.
I know.
But I'm always thinking about how much I love music.
Do you write?
And
Do you
how...
write songs?
Well, I'm a really good poet, and poetry is kind of song. So
what type of genre would, if you could be a musician, what type of genre would it be?
Oh, it would definitely be some weird experimental shit that makes no sense, but I think it's cool, so I'm gonna run with it.
And if you believe it's cool, it is.
No,
again,
exactly.
It's cool.
I always say that to people. I'm you decide, you make what's cool.
Yeah, you're a living example of that.
Thank
truly.
you.
And it's just actually owning confidence. And we started the episode 2 talking about confidence, and I feel like that's gonna kind of translate throughout the through line.
But I also really do want people to know that it wasn't all just dreams coming true.
Right. Yeah. It was hard fucking work.
I made sacrifices to my own integrity. I did things that could harm you in the long run. So it wasn't all just be prepared that
if you want that,
if you want that,
up a lot.
Yeah, you kind of have to ask yourself, well, how bad do you want it? Because I know that I really wanted it badly. I did not want to be who I was. I wanted to be, or not that I didn't want to be who I was. I just knew that there was more, and I wanted it.
Did you have a vision? You had a vision for yourself.
Yeah.
Since you were a kid.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
was there anyone in middle school? Who were your icons in middle school?
Who did you admire?
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
in
that
middle
makes
school.
sense.
Literally
Makes a
just
lot of
Kurt
sense.
Cobain. Read his diary.
You were
read
so
the
cool
biography.
in middle school, though. That's a whole different.
I kind of was cool. I think I peaked in middle school, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think you were cool in middle school, or looking back on it, you're
Okay, well,
listen.
what happened was I started middle school really awkward. I was kind of gothic, wore black lipstick, in 6th grade.
Hot topic girly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the weirdo, outcast. I hung out with one other girl, or a few other girls, but we were cat girls, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Hissing.
Yeah, we were witches. We were doing all. Yeah, we were just freaks. And then toward the end of middle school, I guess we kind of just became popular. But it was interesting because there was the popular girls that were really pretty and blonde and wore the solo pants and all all the just that type of vibe. And then who did ballet and and then there was us, and we were getting suspended all the time, and but we were fun,
right?
You
were the cool girl.
Yeah, we were having a really good time.
What did you get suspended for?
I got suspended a few times.
Okay,
love that.
But I actually had to. It was a superintendent suspension, so I had to go to another school for 2 weeks or something. I want to say it was fighting, honestly, that time. And then other weed, smoking weed in the courtyard, stuff like that. But yeah, I got in trouble a lot. And then here in the city, if you are starting to show problems in middle school, you just won't get accepted to any good high schools. And then your future is pretty much determined for you.
They're like, you want to go to
born.
prison. Like,
yeah, pretty. It's like pipeline.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they send you to the schools with like the metal detectors.
Right.
And it's
so
and it's a very
crazy.
oppressive environment. So that happened to me. And my only other, my only real choice was to just go to Italy because there
So
I
when
could
did you
get an
go
education.
to Italy? You were born there.
Mm-hmm.
And then went back.
Then I went back.
Okay.
And I went back at like, I think 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
For how long?
2 years.
Okay.
What was that culture shock like? Was it
my
like, I mean, like,
God.
obviously, like, I feel like a New York City public school to anything in Italy had to be like,
I literally
opposite
didn't
lives.
know like what, and I didn't know how to like break down a sentence. Like I didn't know what an
Yeah.
adjective was or
Yeah.
a verb or an adverb or
That's crazy.
noun. Yeah, I had to like learn all, like it was crazy. And I actually got left back both years that I was there.
I mean, you could not speak the language.
Do you
No, I spoke
you
spoke
Italian.
Italian.
It just was like-
Guys, I spoke English fluently and still would score lower than the
Oh.
other kids.
Oh my god! Oh, like in the English
Really?
classes?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
God, that's
Because
like
I
the fucking
didn't
American
know
education system.
the-
Truly.
Yeah.
How to, like, they knew more.
They knew the right way
Yeah.
to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
They spoke English better.
Which is
Yeah.
so messed up.
That's like, yeah, no, but that makes total sense to me,
Yeah.
actually.
So it was definitely a big culture shock because, you know, they have a very like fascist educational system.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really just jam pack information
Yeah.
in, but it's amazing. Like you're learning 6 languages at once.
Right.
It's not like here where you choose one.
And I'm like,
And
I
then
don't
you
remember
forget
a
it.
word in
Yeah.
Spanish.
I'm like,
No,
hola.
and then they learn that shit. We were learning Latin and German
Yeah.
and
It's-
just in like amazing history stuff and just shit that I had never known about in coming from a New York City
That's
public
crazy.
school.
And where in Italy where were you?
I was in the north and I
Okay.
was in Como.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. By Milan or
It's near Milan.
Near
It's like an
Milan.
hour outside of
Okay.
Milan. Yeah.
Okay.
And that, I'm sure that experience, was that like for you as like a teenager, a positive experience going there?
Now in hindsight, 1,000.
But then were you like, I don't want to do this?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I had a boyfriend here and
God.
I wanted to just go do hood rat stuff with my friends.
Right,
Yeah.
of course.
And being in Italy was not gonna, like, it just wasn't that, you know. But I'm really happy I went because I did get a really good education and I was around, I was exposed to just such a beautiful culture and really good quality shit that I definitely like took back with me, you know, and just good taste and good food.
Yeah, I was gonna
and
say
the food?
Yeah,
like we
like-
were in Italy in June, and again we lived the
we're
best
losing our
life
minds.
Yeah, I
and
know,
like
I
coming from like, I mean, like you,
Italian
yeah,
families.
like,
Yeah.
We're
we're like
not-
pseudo, you know, like we're
Yeah.
generations up.
Yeah.
We're eating like galama and like
Yeah.
maracot, and like
Yeah.
that's our version.
Like how
of,
do you? Because we were discussing this too. We had an Italy episode, and we were like, we say gabagool. Do you know what gabagool?
No, I know what like I've heard that
Like,
before, but what is it?
It's capricola.
Capricciola.
Oh my god.
I think
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Chills.
Yeah.
We're like
Yeah.
gabagool.
Gabagool.
Mozzarella. Yeah.
Mozzarella.
Yeah.
Manicotti.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Managot is literally like, that's how I
You
was
got
taught to say it.
Managot.
Managot. You had Managot last night.
I got Monagot last night. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we're fake Italians, but
Yeah.
do you think that that's where you, because obviously you're a fashion icon, like is Italy a place where you have admired their culture, but also the fashion and brought it over from there?
I got more into fashion while I was there.
Yeah.
But I will say that the way that people dress there is a little bit like the same, if that makes sense.
like their everyday, day to day is
Yeah,
very
like
much,
you can tell that everyone has the same influence. Let's just put it
Okay,
that way.
right.
Okay.
But that's what Italy is. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, your neighbor, everyone has the same like moral, ethical compass. You know what I mean? Everyone has the same, they're watching all the same shit. You know what I mean? It's not like here where, you know, you just meet millions of different people with different stories and different influences. And you know, I feel like I definitely got my fashion sense growing up in the city.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was
That
your
makes
go
sense.
to? Like, what were you wearing? Because we were wearing Abercrombie and Fitch and it was tight as hell. But what were you wearing in high school? Like, what was your go to
Oh,
outfit?
in high school, I had already figured out, when I came back here, of course, I had already figured out like that I could just steal shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just go to like Bergdorf.
Oh my god. So you were showing up with labels.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think people really thought that I was like rich.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
I really played it.
Were you presenting
so
as
well.
that? Yeah.
Presenting rich,
That
yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense. I feel like I was doing like that was like
Definitely.
I went to like a really like a snooty Catholic school in Long Island, and it was like everyone there was so rich, and I was like, I need to show up here and let everyone know that I'm just as rich.
On those dress down days.
Yeah, like on the 4 days a year where I got to wear clothes, and I was like, I need to actually like go to the outlets, go find the sale rack, like show up and head to toe like Ralph Lauren polo and be like, okay, you guys, like I'm just like you, like don't Google search my house.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's getting people to believe. If you're wearing it, if you're presenting that way, you're getting people to believe it.
Yeah.
Joe went through a period of time where he was going by Royal Hegyes.
I had
like
an alter ego, which was Royal.
I love Royal Hegyes.
I like think there's a world where I would bring Royal back.
Don't like use the alter ego to like hide behind.
No.
Like you are Royal.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. I kind of want to blend it. Well, that's the other thing. Like as a kid, like as a teenager, were you like, this is who I want to be, and this is how I'm gonna get it?
I think I like wanted it, but I didn't like actively want it. Like I was like so afraid to want it because I was so afraid that I wouldn't get it. So I just kind of like, you know, like, but I did like definitely want it. You know, like I just loved going to nice stores, and I loved trying clothes on, and I would love going to like my rich friends' houses and like trying on all their stuff and their
like,
mom's
touching
stuff.
the fabric
And just like dressing up. Like I always loved that, and I loved performing, and I would just like put on like my friends' parents would be like, "Oh, Julia's coming over. Like, tell her we don't want to watch another one of those fucking performances."
That's so funny.
Yeah, like I guess I was kind of just always performing.
Did you ever want fame?
I think this might be another one of like maybe I passively wanted it, but like I never ever like was like I want to be famous, but I always knew that people had a reaction to me. And I always knew people like to talk about me, and that's historical. Like since I was really a child, like I don't know, I just always created like a fuss. It was always like, and I you know, I always thought like it was like there was something wrong with me or something, you know. Now I have the insight, and I'm like, well, no, I'm just like neurodivergent, and it just like it affects people. People do have a reaction to it. And so I think that might be what it is. Like I know who the fuck I am. Like I like, and I can't change. Even if I wanted to. In fact, I've tried and it just didn't work. So like I just know who I am, and like I know that I'm good. I know that I'm so good that it's like to a fault sometimes. Like I get taken advantage of. I get like horrible things happen because I extend, you know, a helping hand sometimes. It's just and then other times amazing things happen. So you never really know. And now I'm at a place where I really have to like protect myself and like my energy, and I have a really, really small, tight circle of friends, same as you guys, like best friends forever.
Yeah, I feel like that's the best.
And that really also keeps you grounded, because I'm not like out here trying to like hang out with celebrities or do shit. Like I don't identify as a celebrity.
Right.
Like this was all very accidental. You know, like I didn't like set out like I want to be an actress, I'm gonna get an agent, and like, no, that actually fell in my fucking lap. Like this life chose me. You know, so like I'm just showing up for it at the best to my abilities. But at the end of the day, like I'm just an artist, and I've always been. Like I'm performative, but I'm very artistic as well, and I love to write, and I can act, and you know, I can like pretty much do anything in a weird way. Like if I set my mind to it, if I'm like I'm gonna do this, I just do it, and I feel like that's actually what more people should be like, because you're almost so delusional in your own abilities. Because then I'll do shit that I'll be like, oh no, I definitely overestimated my capabilities here. Like that happens too. But I just think, like as cheesy as it is, like believing in yourself, like if you believe that shit, it becomes true.
Yeah, believing your delusions.
You
like we're fucking.
We literally like the intro that
Yeah.
we shot was exactly what you just said. We were like we were so delusional as kids. Like that delusion. Anytime we're on stage now, we're like. Right beforehand, we're both like out of our fucking minds.
We're like
Why
showing
are we
up
doing
like
this? Like how did we get here? Like that like level of being like I think it's really. To your point before too about what the world kind of tells you are, like it's so hard to be like, no, they're wrong, I'm right. I'm gonna get out here and do this fucking thing, and like what is the literal worst that happens?
Yeah.
Like in
Right.
like being yourself and trying to do something.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate that we have each other. Like we
we
enable
can
each
fall
other's
back.
delusion. So like that's why we've gotten here. But like again, we fall back on each other all the time.
Yeah, it's really easy to be like. We also like, for your context, like I was like very into like documenting. My whole life is documented on camera. Like literally, like from my POV, it's like me and Andrew's entire childhood on camera.
Joe's a director. I love direction. So I'm like,
Yeah,
tell
so it
me what
works
to
really
fucking
great.
do.
I'm like,
I'm
do
gonna
this,
do it.
show up, say here, do
What
this.
are your signs?
I'm a Taurus.
I'm a
Okay.
Leo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're
makes
a
sense.
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
So is my mom. Yeah, so we grew up like literally everything's on camera. Like to your point about performing, like it was like
We couldn't
every
quit.
day it was like, what are we doing today? Like get the wigs out, like we're getting to work. Like we had like characters, we were posting to YouTube. That was like our
Oh
thing.
my god.
And it was like the dawn of YouTube. It wasn't like what it is now where there's like
No.
5 billion videos on it.
I feel like a lot of Gen Zers have like rogue videos on YouTube
Yeah.
and accounts that they don't know the password
Yes.
to anymore.
Oh yeah, there's some where I'm like,
And
I
it's
need
them,
to
like,
take this
singing
down.
into a hairbrush, like-
Literally,
Yeah.
exactly that.
Measure in love, seasons of love.
There's no need for anyone to see me like singing Rent
But it's
at like
cute
12.
and
It is
endearing.
cute.
You
Yeah.
And we had
know?
all of these videos up and we did delete them though.
Yeah, we got like bullied. It was like again like the
Oh.
homophobia kicked in at
I
like 12,
know.
and
Yeah.
people would like kids in our grade would like anonymously comment shit, and
Are
we
you
were like,
kissing? Are you
Yeah.
dating?
Kids are
Are
so
you
mean.
so
and then
mean.
we were like, okay, we're done. Like take everything down, delete everything. We lost like half of our archive
And
because
like
of that.
if
but
we
like,
only kept doing it.
yeah, which is like,
know.
and that's like I think we've come back to it. We've
Yeah.
gotten back to
Yeah.
that point, which is nice.
It's like a
Yeah.
inner child healing. It's like a,
Yeah.
obviously we've always wanted to put stuff out there. We've always wanted to be ourselves or a version of our like the
Yeah.
most authentic version of
coming from
ourselves.
these small towns is so oppressive,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and also you just kind of think the whole world is that town.
Yeah.
You don't realize like, these people are losers.
Yeah,
like they're commenting because they have no life.
Yeah.
Like they literally
Yes.
have nothing better
Yeah.
to do. Like,
I
you
know.
you don't have that perspective,
Right.
No.
you know? And also that's like honestly such a hack for life. Like for anyone that has like for your listeners that have questions all the time, like be yourself, because that way like you'll attract like-minded people.
Yes.
Like how is your person gonna find you if
Yeah.
you're camouflaged as everybody else?
masking
Like
as what you think
you
people
have
want.
to be yourself, because when you find your people, and your people will find you, magic will happen. Like people have come out of the woodworks, like really awesome, cool people reach out and like want to work with me and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, like, because they're a freak and I'm a freak.
Right,
And we
exactly.
see it in each other.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, don't rob yourself of that opportunity.
It's like
Yeah.
removing that fear of rejection, because like what you're getting rejected from, like you probably don't want. Like the
Rejection is
people-
God's protection.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Like the people and the jobs, anything that gets you turned down, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I did it. Probably didn't need that. And if someone thinks I'm fucking weird, I'm like, okay, we shouldn't be hanging out. Like not even like shade to them. I'm like, we are on opposite wavelengths
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And like the people who find the things that I think are annoying about myself enjoyable, and like that's who I should be around. Like if you're on my
Exactly.
worst day, are the people like for example,
Yeah.
like you can deal with me on my absolute worst day.
I'm like,
and it's
I would have given her
bad.
some space.
Yeah, I'm like, and we're still here.
Yeah.
So when we first like posted to TikTok, like begging you to speak to us, like
Yeah.
actually freaks.
Mid-writing.
This message is for Julia Fox. If you're not Julia Fox, scroll away. You were in the middle of writing your book. You said you took, what was it, the month of December off to write your book?
No, I did it. It was like November, December, and January.
I think speaks to you again is like when you like whatever you like announced that in some capacity. If I forgot where I saw it.
So many people were reaching out to me,
Yeah,
and then
I'm
they'd reach out to
sure.
my stylist and
Yeah.
everyone, and then it would be this constant, like, like I just can't write, you
Yeah.
know. So I
and you
had
made
to-
that statement, but
Yeah.
I was like, I know that you're not gonna. I know you're gonna follow through on that. Like there
Yeah.
was clear that like there was gonna be a book at the end of it, and then to
Yeah.
see like the cover art and the date released, I was like, she fucking did it.
She's
like
doing
that
it.
is like so impressive to me. Like the
Thank you.
actually committing the time and actually doing it, I feel like is so hard,
It's
especially
so
when you're being
hard.
like handed these
But
opportunities
can I
to do
say
anything.
something? The hardest part of writing, for any writers out there listening, is just getting your fucking ass in the chair. After that, it's like riding a bike. It really is. So I just think like, if you need a write and you're procrastinating and you're on TikTok or whatever, just sit in the chair, do your little TikTok on the or whatever you're doing from the chair. And then eventually the computer will get you and then you'll start writing.
The idea that you were able to even put that down and say, I'm going to do this thing is like, that's crazy to me.
Well, I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
So at that point, the contract was signed.
Also,
the check was cashed. Like, I needed to deliver.
Business.
Yeah, no,
I'm
and I
so
literally,
excited.
I can't wait to read it.
actually, my agent called me at some point in like October and he was like, hey, do you have any like pages to show? Because it had already been like 6 months or something. No, this is a really bad like I did it, but it was like by the skin of my teeth.
It's gonna give me nightmares.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, so and he's like and then I was like, yeah, I'll just send them over, like I'm just traveling, but like when is it like due? And he was like, January. And I was like, what? Because I thought it was like April or something. I just got the dates mixed up. So I really like went into like panic mode. And that's why I was so like fiercely like, don't talk to me, don't blah, blah. Because, a lot of people, when they have to write big projects, they'll like go into a cabin somewhere. They'll go to a writer's retreat somewhere. They get that luxury to do that. Like I can't do that. I have a child and I'm not going to just like uproot him because I have to go to a writer's retreat in the desert. Like, no, So I really just was super, super militant and disciplined. And like on the days that he was with his dad were the days that I would just dedicate the entire day. Like I would sit in the chair like 12 hours. Like my back would be fucked up. My eye, when you're like not talking to human beings. And like I'd go get something and like, do you want your change? I'd be like, hi, how are you? Like just like not like just not being able to like speak anymore. I turned into a robot, but yeah, then I did it. So.
And it's like your childhood dream come true.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me.
What day does it come out? Do you know?
I think like October.
I think it's 25th.
5th, yeah.
I think
October 25th.
Yeah, it's October 25th.
Like,
October 25th.
Yeah.
I saw that you had a quote saying that like childhood is just invention for parents to spend money.
Yeah.
So, and I read that and I was like, okay, I mean, obviously, like it is the enablement, it's those things, but like it's also raising a child.
Thing as though, like, how do you explain? Like, us as people, we really like to like put things in boxes, to make things like more, I guess, more easier for us to understand. But like, it's almost like children are different than like grown-ups. Do you know what I mean? But there isn't. Like we're the same. It's like I don't just turn 18 and then you kick me out of the house and you know what I mean? Because childhood is over now suddenly. Like what?
It's also like talking to them as children. Like you're like like baby.
Yeah.
It's
like I and like in other countries, it's kind of like that. Children are way more like integrated into the parents' life. Like they go to work with them or whatever the case may be. But like the children come out like where they're not like slaves to the nap schedule. Like they are here in that sense. Like the child just kind of goes along because children are very, very adaptable. Like they can really get used to anything, and like they'll go with it, Right. And so it's unfortunate that here in this country we kind of separate and look at children as like not people. Like they're children. They're not people here.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, I feel like that carries through.
People.
Like it carried through to my adulthood. Like I feel like I'm still proving to my parents and like I'm an adult. Like I have it handled. Like you don't have to talk to me like this. Like it's fine. Like I know how to do this.
It's almost like they forget what it was like with their parents.
Right.
I'm sure they handled it.
Let me do it for you. Even like the laundry.
And, like, I can do my own laundry. I promise.
I can.
My mom's like,
I'll iron your pants.
I'm doing it for you right now. And like, please, like literally stop.
Don't iron my pants, Mom. I can do it. It's okay.
Going back to the being able to do everything, how have you decided what to do? Like, how have you?
How are you staying on that path?
On this?
Well, I still haven't really gotten there. Like, I'm still always kind of like have my hand in like a million different things, and that's okay. Some people just don't have one thing that they're passionate about. I have many. I have I get into everything. I'm like anything that is interesting, and also I like new things. I like learning new things. I like new information. I'm just always looking. I'm always searching.
Yeah,
I'm always like
learning.
longing and looking for something, you know? I think I
So
have
like
like an
when you find
unfillable
something,
void.
you're like, I'm gonna do this next. Like
Yeah.
once it comes to you, once it's like, okay, yeah.
I think that's where we often spiral. It's like we want to do
What the fuck do we do
literally
now?
You just have to do it,
everything.
though.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like that's really the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's just you just have
It's
to do
so
it.
easy to have an idea. I think it's
so
so easy. It's
easy.
so hard to execute.
Yeah,
It
especially
is.
if you have like ADHD or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
you just
Right,
like get the
which
dopamine
we
hit
both
just
do.
with the thought
Right.
of it, and
Yeah.
then you don't do it because
Yes,
you like
we did
I
it.
did
Yeah.
it already in
Move
my
on.
head. Yeah.
No, like we're definitely ideas people. We have
We're like movie done. Everything done.
We're like writing scripts. We're like, yes, do nothing with it.
oh god, yeah.
Post your book coming out on October 25th. What's next?
More movies.
More movies.
Yeah, I'm doing 2 this
Okay.
summer.
Oh my
Amazing.
God.
I have 1 coming out.
Okay.
And then I have 1 that I'm writing, and that we just
Stop.
got a director. Yeah, that I wrote with my friend Sarah. And that's the nice thing about like writing is
Yeah.
that writing scripts, especially because it like can be collaborative. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have to do it alone.
We do most of our writing together, which is like really
it's the best.
Yeah.
You have a sounding board that you can like bounce ideas off of, and you know, it just for the humor too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
What is the event? What is this thing that happens in this episode? That like, what is the like crescendo?
Because they were talking about sex.
Yeah, like what's opposite that for us as kids? Like what's going? Like it can't just be like, oh, we're gay.
Especially if like we're like not cracking up at each other's jokes.
Oh, we're like, it's not
don't
funny.
put it in,
Delete the
don't put it in.
page,
But
go
when we're
back.
crying, we're like, that's
That's
the
it.
one.
Yeah.
It's really, it definitely, I think the collaboration is the best part. I mean, like, and you have a partner, you have Nikki on the pod. Like, you have someone who's like able
Yeah.
to be there with you on like at least that one facet of like your 85 facets of your life right now. And like, for like whenever I tried doing things alone, it's still great. Like I still think we probably need to grow a little bit more independently than we currently
Which
are.
we
Like
will.
we're attached.
Yeah.
But like it's such a different feeling being like I'm doing this with someone. Like someone else sees what I see and like
It's
someone
not
else
fun
wants
if you're
what I
doing
want.
it alone.
No.
Yeah.
Like I always say, like even when you have blessings and money and invitations and all the things, it's like if you don't have anyone to share it with, like did it even really happen?
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
just there.
It's just not fun.
Yeah.
And again, when everything is going on around you and it's just you, it's so easy to be distracted. But when there's another person bringing you back down and bringing you there, it's
No,
so
you
much
keep each
easier
other
to...
in check. You keep each other, you know, accountable, hold each other accountable is a big one. Do you guys have like boyfriends or no?
I have a boyfriend.
Jill has a
yes.
boyfriend. I've been single.
Do you get jealous when he's in a relationship?
No, honestly, no. I'm like kind of loving my little life right
Right.
now. I'm having fun.
We had a point where like when we started the podcast a year ago. This is like it's new to us. This is like this episode comes
our
out on our
1 year
1 year anniversary of having the podcast.
I'm the 1 year. Am
You're
I
the-
going to be the 1 year anniversary episode?
Yes.
Look at
yeah.
God.
Look at
literally
God.
look at God.
Because you guys just did it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
weren't
yeah.
like, we should start a pod. You guys literally
We, like,
just did it.
Andrew went to Best Buy, bought the microphones.
Yeah.
We sat down and we were like, let's just fucking do it. And
There
this
you
is
go.
the
Sat
song.
down at that mic and we were talking to an audience that didn't exist. We're
We
like,
kept
you
being like,
guys
you
are
guys
gonna
are gonna believe that. Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of Good Children. And it
Again,
didn't even seem
crazy.
crazy. And we like rewatched it and we were like, who the fuck were we talking to?
Yeah. And this is stuff that we were doing when we were kids. We were like
Right.
writing movies, writing shows, doing all that stuff. And it's nice to be able to like truly play.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
about playing, I think. It comes
Yeah.
back to being, again, like a child. It's all about the inner child for me.
Yeah.
Like honoring that child, like getting to know
And
him.
living
Like,
authentically
what did they
to
want?
you. And
Yeah.
like, I know, because pretending for so many years is like, that's really what like leads people into depression and stuff. Like you have to live your truth, as corny as it sounds.
Yeah.
Like I've watched people that like couldn't live their truth like die
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that happens. And like my 2 best friends that both died, they both had issues with the truth. Like there was like a lot of denial, there was a lot of storytelling,
Right,
and it was like they just could not accept, come to terms, and face the problem. It was a constant running around it.
Yeah.
And that shit will run you to a motherfucking
Yeah.
early grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can like
The
see
avoidance.
pictures. We were just looking at videos from ourselves from like right before coming out, and we were like, we look so sad. Like
Yeah.
in times that we're supposed to be happy, like the looks
You
on
can
our
see it in the
faces, it's like
eyes.
this is such a different like the soul is being crushed
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Like it really, I mean, it's a huge obstacle to get to the point where you could be like, I'm gonna do I'm going to be myself. I'm going to like actually,
Well, you
face
almost
the
have to
truth.
get back to get into the wall. You know, your back kind of has to be against the wall
Yes.
for that aha moment where
It's this or nothing.
exactly, and that's usually like out of the most like beautiful, amazing things in my life were born out of complete like desperation, destruction, like I'm gonna kill myself. There's no way out of this. Like, and then I would find something because then I'd be looking for like, okay, what I'm, you know, and then it would you
just
know,
present itself,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
But there was like prayer, and there was like, you know, taking action, going to the meetings, doing whatever it was, like. But you have to like show up for your blessings.
I have such a hard pivot now, and I'm like, do I pivot?
Do it.
We honestly spend a good portion of our time like talking about like fast casual food restaurants.
Okay, love.
So, like,
See, I'm a
soups,
Subway girl.
salads.
I love Subway.
They
I have
also
my
are so
special
good.
little thing that I get
Yes.
there.
What's
I
your
love
Subway
Subway.
order?
Well, I don't like the meats there,
Okay.
but I get like extra Swiss cheese, and then I do
You're a Swiss girl.
yeah, and I like onions in my I like onions and everything.
Yes.
Onion, tomato, lettuce, oil, vinegar, and the light mayo.
Okay.
Yeah.
On what kind of bread?
On just like the foot-long Italian, but not the
Perfect.
herb one,
Yes.
the regular
So,
one.
Listen, Subway, if you're listening,
Yeah,
that's the Julia Fox sub.
That's next.
And I get it.
her
Oh,
the
and
deal.
it's toasted. I forgot
Oh,
to
of
mention.
course,
So then the
toasted.
cheese gets melty, and it's
Yes.
just amazing. I may need to get one after this.
Yeah, it's actually like literally across the street, I think, at Subway.
Oh, really?
So you got it.
It's Fuck, Marry, Kill, Chili's, Applebees, and TGI Fridays.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck, I think TGI Fridays.
Love that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always just had a good time there.
Okay.
Those mozzarella sticks.
I think Kill Chili's.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we're gonna marry Applebees.
Okay, wait.
No, like honestly, love
Oh yeah,
Applebee's.
no, I'm so
No,
down.
yeah, I like Applebee's.
I think
Yeah.
Applebee's is like a stable partner.
Yeah.
Like you can trust Applebee's.
I mean,
Yeah.
those boneless wings, like I can have that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
The half off
Ugh,
after
so
10.
good.
The half
No,
off, they
you can't
raised
beat
us.
that.
No.
The ClickBooks. Are you familiar with the ClickBooks?
No, what's the click?
They were like, it was like a teen, it was like an original Mean Girls kind of book that
Okay.
happened like in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I don't
and
know
like the
it.
main character would give a State of the Union. So it'd be like Massey Block's State of the Union, and she would list what's in and what's out.
Okay.
So I would love to do Julia Fox's State of the Union. And I have a
Okay.
list of things, and
Okay.
you'll tell me if it's in it or it's out.
All right.
Okay. So this is Julia Fox's State of the Union. Male politicians.
Out.
Von Dutch.
In.
The Met Gala.
Out.
Aging.
In.
Yes.
Being cringe.
In.
Buckle fat.
Out.
Mhm.
Don't do it, girls. Don't do it.
Oh, no, don't.
You're gonna
don't.
want that fat when you're older. Trust me.
Yeah, don't do
So
it.
it's almost in. Buckle fat is in. Buckle fat removal is out.
Oh, right. Buckle
Yes.
fat removal is out, but
Yeah.
Okay.
the buckle fat is in.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
love
Shame.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No need to be ashamed,
No.
or just embrace the shame.
Embrace the
bask in the
shame.
shame.
Right.
It's so
Lean into
humiliating
it.
and vulnerable.
Yes.
I have a humiliation kink, so
Right.
Cults.
out.
Okay.
Okay.
8-hour screen times.
Ugh, I really need this to be out for me.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So when we leave this room, it's out.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
out.
The phone really is like designed to keep you entranced and to
Yes.
keep you on it. And I think we just, now that we know what we know now today, like knowing that information that they are literally making money on us.
Yeah.
He's
Being
don't do
addicted.
it, guys. Like that's
It's
not the
stunting.
way. Why
Stunting
line their
growth.
pockets when you could be
Right.
lining yours?
Exactly.
They're not on their phone all day.
No.
Like just getting so many dopamine hits one after the other
Yeah.
like that, it really does fry your brain. And then you'll be
porn.
talking to people IRL and it just won't be doing it for
No,
you
yeah.
because they're not trauma dumping
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's like I want something juicy
so
Yeah.
and
It'll
you're
hit me
making
when I'm,
small
like,
talk. It is. It's a
nonstop.
beast. It's an
Yes.
it's a unfillable, insatiable beast.
Yes.
And it won't
And I'm
stop.
like submitting to it.
Yeah.
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 I'm scared.
So-
Why am I scared?
Be forewarned, guys.
Okay, so next one. Times Square, Margaritaville.
Have you been?
Never been.
Wait, we're
Not that
going.
bad.
Oh my god.
It's fun.
There's a pool.
Really?
There's a pool.
In the Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny. No, I never go to Times Square.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, but
So,
I love Times Square.
in or out.
I guess out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Coachella.
I mean, it's out for me. Like I haven't gone in years. I'm a mom. I
Right.
can't, like, I'm good.
Math.
In forever.
Yeah, forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
You like math?
No.
Okay.
But I respect
Yes. Okay.
math.
Yeah. That's actually, I need
Math
to be
is
like
the
that.
universal language.
You're a math head.
I'm a huge math
But like, what's
head.
5 times 8?
40.
Wow.
Julie Fox beat me to it.
Wait, oh my god, we should do like a pop
We
quiz.
should do a pop quiz. I'd freak out.
Witchcraft,
In.
of course.
But be careful how you use it. I just find like when you start like meddling and like trying to play God, that like, yeah, you might get what you want, but you are going to have to pay for it at some point later down the line. So just don't meddle. Yeah.
Love.
And yeah,
In every
definitely.
form, I feel
every
like.
form.
No, not romantically. Romantic love is just a tool that men use to keep women enslaved.
Yes.
But you can love your pets and your family, your children, your
Yourself.
passions,
Yourself,
your
yeah.
crafts,
Yes.
your interests, your hobbies. Like, women need to love more things than just men,
Yeah.
you know? Because when a woman falls in love with something else, the way that that thing will flourish is beyond the wildest dreams of anything, but a lot of women are not afforded that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, our ancestors have been falling in love for centuries. Look at where it got them.
Yeah.
Like, just keep that in mind.
You're so full of wisdom, truly.
Truly.
Like,
Thank you.
this has been like educational in ways that I imagined it would be, but
Yeah.
it's amazing to like sit down in real life and have the conversation and be like, oh, this was exactly what I thought would happen.
Speaking to us and speaking to our audience, like learning so much from you is
Oh, thank you,
beautiful.
guys.
Thank you.
And
Okay, we
honestly,
have-
I've been watching you eat this Hershey's cookies and cream, and I just need to let you know
Do you want
that,
a
like,
piece? I haven't even shared any.
Oh,
No,
I'm
I'm
personally-
not asking for a piece,
you
but
looked really into it.
well, I'd be
I
like,
know
I'm
you
like,
want it.
I want a piece.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wait, I wanted
Get
to say that
into
this is my
it.
favorite chocolate.
It's so
It is the
good.
best,
yeah.
Oh,
It's
it
been-
broke in a weird way.
It's okay. I took a little. She broke bread, and it's the Hershey's.
Okay, we do one more segment called the guidance office, where people
Okay.
actually call in, leave a voicemail, we listen to it, and then we
Oh,
like give them
amazing.
advice.
Okay.
This is a
Do they know
long-
that it's me giving the advice?
No, they
oh,
don't know.
okay.
Hi guys, just have to say, totally love your show. My friend and I are obsessed. We have already decided who's Joe and who's Andrew. For the record, I'm Andrew. We have this really good friend, known her for like, ever. But she has some like super toxic body stuff, meaning like she sees herself really terribly, all those things, even though everybody thinks she's the, hottest person ever. But, which is fine. But for us, and for me specifically, it's like, okay, all you ever do is talk negatively about yourself, always talking about how terrible you are, like, the work you've had done isn't enough, and blah, 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 and how ugly and fat and huge and disgusting you are. And let me just be clear, she's definitely thinner than I am, has bigger boobs, all this stuff, right? All the things that you would idealize in what our society considers a perfect body, right? How do I tell her that, like, I want to be supportive of her, I want to tell her I love her, I think she's beautiful, but how do I say, like, listen, how you talk about yourself is triggering to me, and it's triggering to others around you, because when you say how horrible you think you look, it makes us feel like, wow, I should hate myself too. Love to hear your thoughts. Bye.
Wow.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is a tricky one.
I mean, it's sad because like these are like the effects of social media
Right.
and, having these images like shoved down our throats of like extremely overtouched images, and clearly people that have had tons of plastic surgery, and like it just sets the bar so unbelievably high that a regular girl can't possibly reach it, especially because it doesn't even exist, because
Yeah.
those people in real life look like you wouldn't even, it's
Yeah.
disgusting.
It's
So
shocking.
It's jarring.
Yeah.
It's like, so it really is an illusion. But I mean, she needs to tell her friend that
Yeah.
it's toxic, because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you want to be friends with people through through all phases, the worst of times, the best of times, and everything. But if it's starting to trigger her, and and for her to start now looking at herself, like, wait a minute, she definitely, you definitely need to tell your friend that it's triggering for you, and that it's a toxic behavior, and that maybe, like, I don't think you're the person that needs to unpack it with her, but it's
Right.
clearly coming from a place of like, like she has body dysmorphia, clearly,
Right.
and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I feel like it's even telling your friend that, I think, would be kind of a wake-up call to them.
Yeah.
Because it is like, I've gotten...
No, and she worded it so well.
Yeah,
like,
it was
what
like
you
so...
said
is
in the
what you
message
should
is what
say.
you need to say to her.
it wasn't like rude, it wasn't like offensive. I think that it's like...
It might snap her out of it a
Yeah,
little
it's
bit.
like you're talking about my friend like that, meaning yourself, and you're also then in turn talking about us like that. Like that is a difficult situation. Especially growing up for us, like when someone would be like, "Oh, I look so fat," and I was next to them, I was like,
"Oh, stop."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, you don't." Like,
because it's important.
But
to
also, like looking and being fat is fucking hot.
that's the other
It's
thing,
hot,
right?
yeah.
You know,
That's the thing.
So it's like maybe tell her like, hey, I'm not really down for these like weird like patriarchal like beauty standards that you are imposing on everyone else. Like if you think like if you want to look like a fucking weird freak sex doll, like that's on you.
Yeah.
But I'm just not that girl.
Yeah.
You know,
it's hard to like not saying your piece, like, right? She's saying everything about herself, and keeping to yourself is only going to make it worse.
You have to speak
Just
up.
saying,
I think that's
like,
it goes
how
to
you
our
feel.
point. Like, be yourself in those friendships. Like, tell the truth, because if you don't tell the truth, she's just suffering.
Yeah.
Everyone's suffering in that situation.
Exactly.
And if it's triggering, and it's like
and
important
also
for
then
other people to know.
but then also because when people do these things and they complain around you, in a way they might not realize that they are, but they are fishing for compliments.
Yeah.
They now want you to activate and be like, no,
You're so
babe,
beautiful.
you're so beautiful. You're like way beautiful. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, if you feed into that, like the next time she's like, I look like shit, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Just finish eating your
yeah.
finish
Because
eating
then
your
she's gonna
brownie,
say,
bitch. Like,
Yeah.
well,
She'll be like, "Wait,
I'm doing
I do
great
look
over
like
here,
shit?"
so
Yeah.
That's actually a great point.
yeah.
Oh my god.
The silence in those moments.
Exactly. Just because then she won't
'Cause I'd
get
freak out.
that reaction that she's
Yeah.
looking for. You know,
And maybe it will make her introspective a little bit and be like, well,
It's gonna make her spiral. I mean, like, I can't imagine if I was to say, like, I look like shit,
and I
you were
just
to-
was like,
But you know, when you're
But it's
living in
gonna
a
make me
bubble of
think.
delusion,
Yeah.
sometimes
Exactly.
it needs to be popped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this girl sounds like she's a very good-looking girl with the
Yeah.
ideal body type. So,
Yeah.
Both of
like,
them.
just shut the
Yeah.
fuck up,
Yeah.
Becky. You know,
Yeah.
what I
Shut
mean?
the fuck up, Becky.
Like, go get some therapy.
That's actually, that
You
should
know?
be like, send a BetterHelp gift card her way.
This is a
Like,
better
it's
help
not
plug.
your job. You're not her therapist. Like, go on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This has been truly a dream
Thanks
come
for
true.
having me, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Like,
Truly.
literally, thank you
I
for
can't wait
showing up.
to see who you guys have on your 2-year anniversary.
Oh my God,
It'll be
God.
Rihanna, bitch. We're
Let's-
manifesting Rihanna.
Let's manifest
Stop,
it.
Rihanna.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, literally, dream come true. Thank you for taking the
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being as you in real life as
thank
you are on the
you.
internet. I
Yeah.
feel like that's not like a
So
normal
real.
thing to come by.
Where can we find you?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows.
Tell the listeners where we can find you in all socials.
Julia Fox
Okay.
on all socials, and but you could probably just find me riding my bike downtown
Yes.
somewhere.
Are you? And the book comes out October 25th.
Book
Is there
comes out
anything
October
else
25th.
down the pipeline between then and now and then?
I don't have dates for
Okay.
anything,
Okay.
so it's fine.
You
Buy
know
that book.
exactly where
You'll know.
Julia
You bitches
Fox
will know
is.
what
Yeah,
I'm
you'll
doing.
find her.
Buy that book.
For more of this episode and more exclusive episodes, don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon.
Listen, we love to have fun on Patreon.
And we love to have fun here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to
Thank
this
you.
very special episode. Thank you so much to Spotify Studios for hosting us.
Yes.
Thank you to Julia for coming on. You know exactly where to find us across all platforms at Good Children Pod. And don't forget to do your homework.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, write a little something sweet.
Write a little something sweet.
If you learned something from this episode, if you felt seen by this episode, if you just genuinely loved hearing Julia's voice on this episode, write a little something on our Apple Podcast reviews.
we would love
And
to hear it.
Don't forget to spread the good word, you guys.
And we'll see you next week.
See you.
I just killed my ex. I still love him though. Rather be in jail than alone.
One take wonder.